That's a lot of paper. Wait, did you see that box? Taylor, go take that box of papers and stand up to the side.
That might be a worker's
I'm
comp.
not very smart.
Not there yet.
It seems like I got a button out of hand. My wrist worked out. Get you another pen.
Of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please make yourself aware of the ethics. Rules of conduct.
It's actually manager. I'm gonna read the budget message, so yes. So, yeah, we've been working and we've set up a proposed budget. I'm gonna read you 2022-2023 budget message. I'm just gonna read this as it is. It's in your agenda packet if you need that. Yes.
Do we have to approve the agenda first? Sorry.
I thought something was missing on that.
Well, I
That's not
thought it
on
was
there.
too, but I didn't see the miss, I just rolled on. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda this evening?
Chairman, I move that we add to under items of discussion, Beth Edwards from Mitchell County Schools. And I also move that under 10A, we add the recess and reconvene. Recreation plan. Sanctuary and Merchants Association, to be adjourned at the fire department.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, vote by the usual sign. So additions there, we'll be adding item number 7D, Beth Edwards to Mitchell County Schools. And item number 10A will be adjournment to the Beckville Fire Department, where we will adjourn after the Parks and Rec. All right. Backing up this one. Item number 6A.
A motion, you need a motion.
I need a motion to approve the changes.
I move that we accept the revised agenda.
Second.
Second. All in favor, vote for the usual sign. Thank you. It takes an army. Well, it's got good people around, you don't have to worry about it. They keep you in check, so.
All right, I've been chomping at the bit here, so I'm ready now. All righty, folks. So our 2023 proposed budget, and this is your budget message. Mitchell County provides quality essential services and support in the areas of public safety, health, education of both youth and adults, business growth and development, environmental protection, recreational opportunities, and human services, to name a few. Each year, we strive to build a fiscally responsible budget that not only meets the current needs of our population, but also provides a strong framework for positive future growth. In accordance with North Carolina General Statute 159-11, and with direction from the Mitchell County Board of Commissioners, it is my privilege to present the fiscal year 2020-23 Mitchell County proposed budget for your consideration. The proposed budget totals $23,016,960 for all county operations, capital improvements, and debt service requirements. This budget reflects an 8.8% increase from the 2021-22 adopted budget of $21,163,102. The proposed 22-23 budget is balanced with a tax rate of 56 cents per $100 valuation based on the current value of real, personal, and vehicle property valuation of $2,425,729,054. The 56 per 100 proposed tax rate is 2 cents less than the current 58 cent per 100 tax rate and 10 cents more than the revenue neutral rate of 46 per 100 valuation. This proposed budget is based on a projected tax collection rate of 96.32%. The proposed budget is balanced and prepared in accordance with the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act. The major revenue projection for the 22-23 proposed budget is property tax. Mitchell County has experienced historic real estate sales since 2020. The Mitchell County Register of Deeds has recorded over 2,159 real estate transactions since the start of 2020. On a national basis, this trend is reflected as a rural real estate boom. With such high demand, local area land and houses are selling at record high prices. These increases in real estate values were reflected in the latest reevaluation. Simply put, Mitchell County property is worth more. The proposed budget factors in a 27% increase in property tax revenue to total $13,222,942. Other revenue notes include the expectation of $4,722,474 in sales tax revenue and a stable to slight increase in all other revenues in relation to the 21-22 budget appropriations. Revenue highlights include property tax rate for the 22-23 proposed budget is 56 cents per $100 valuation. Historic real estate sales have increased property values and reassessments. Sales tax revenue continues to stay strong. I have graphed out the revenue streams in a pie chart, and it is in the budget message, and that specs out everything by each area. So if you want to view that, you'll have that available. So we're going to talk about revenues, and now we're going to talk about expenditures. The expenditures set forth in this budget are closely correlated to the Consumer Price Index, also known as CPI. Generally speaking, the CPI set by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is an economic measure of the average change in prices paid by consumers of goods and services. It is often used by entities to project expenses. In the past year, prices on average have increased by 8.3%. According to CPI statistics, gasoline has increased by 43.6% since last year. With this knowledge in mind, expense projections in the 22-23 proposed budget for Mitchell County are based on the probability of higher costs, especially in fuel. The appropriated budget numbers reflect an 8.8% increase from the 21-22 22 budget ordinance. Departmental budget allocations experienced increases due to projected inflation. Overall, outside agency funding remained at constant levels. The expense highlights bulleted out are as such. Expenses are budgeted in line with a CPI of 8.3%. The 22-23 budget shows an overall 8.8% increase in expenditures. Most outside agencies, with the exception of a few slight increases, are budgeted the same as the 21-22 budget. Capital expenses such as maintenance, improvement, equipment, vehicle replacement, and IT upgrades have been budgeted at fair market estimates. And on this budget message, I have a pie chart that goes over the expenditures and breaks those down for anyone that is interested. Finally, as a new county manager, I appreciate all the hard work and cooperation from everyone who assisted with this proposed budget. Thank you, commissioners, for giving careful consideration and due diligence to all budget requests. I would like to especially thank our finance manager, Mavis, and her staff for their dedication, support, and assistance in this budget. Finally, I thank our department heads for their tireless efforts and each county employee who faithfully serves the citizens of Mitchell County on a daily basis. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Anybody have questions, concerns on the budget? Here none, we will talk about item number 7A, the Cope Architecture Associate invoices.
Beth had previously, about a week ago or so, sent me 2 additional Cope Architect invoices to be paid from the sales tax that we're holding currently. And just for an update on that, if we pay these 2 invoices, the balance that will be remaining in their sales tax that we're holding will be $1,183,922. That we will still be paying sales tax.
Repeat that one more time, sorry.
$1,183,922. $1,183,922. So you have 2 invoices, one for $248,402 and then one for $10,939. Commission, I will take these funds out of their sales tax.
Mr. Chair, I have questions. If these invoices are for the new Mitchell County Middle School project, why is that not coming out of the grant money they got from the state? And why are they using sales tax? Seems to me like that this should be coming out of the grant money instead of the sales tax money. Ms. Edwards, would you like to address that situation? The whole 40 million has now, originally it was 32.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry, 32. We're hoping.
You anticipate
think so. Now, you have the 15 million, it's estimated, some of that early on. Don't have the 17 million yet, probably in your grant account. Yeah.
Oh, and they paid out of the 15, it's already there, because I know we spent some money at some of that.
And early on, we spent some money out of the 15. I don't remember exactly, I can look, but if you remember, they come and ask for approval, was it about 100-some thousand? Seems like 493 rings a bell with me. They had spent some money early on out of that grant, and then they come back and wanted to spend some more to do the grade, and I think about 4 million, and the board did not approve that at that time. They only spent the one allocation. I think it was about 493, if I remember correct. So I think you can access the 15 million. You just can't access the 7. Right.
Seems like this would be coming out of that. I'm with you, Jeff, that seems to make. It just doesn't seem that we should absorb this cost. I understand that it's your sales tax money, but out of the 40 million, 45 million was total project cost. How that extra 5 million was gonna be paid was your sales tax money, plus the lottery, which would put you over. And what concerns me with building cost that goes over 45, or if your sales tax drops down, then you're not gonna have enough money to finish the school out of your portion, so therefore the county government's gonna be responsible for paying the difference for whatever the amount is. Is that correct, Mr. Heiss? And we would be the responsible agent if they didn't have enough funds to pay that. Would that be a correct statement?
That these invoices, these are just for the school project, not the auxiliary gym project, correct? Okay, just making sure. Okay.
So where did you pay? You paid that bill out of capital money that you're holding, and you just don't have enough capital money to pay these?
What's the two invoices for? Is this more design work that the,
It's more like schematic design, and this was work
Sure,
they
here's
did through
Steve.
the end of April. And then the other one was consultant work that they did for the additional geotech work. I think they had to do additional core drillings out there, and they used Kessel Engineering Group. And so this was 1,000 with that's consultant, supplemental geotech.
who requested the additional geotech survey be done? But the county had already paid to have, county government already had a geotech engineering study done on that land, and I was just wondering why the Board of Education followed back up with another geo when both of them were gonna say the same thing. Okay.
Ms. Edwards, what is the balance of the 15 million that y'all originally started with? Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, I think the board as a whole would like to know that. Also, can you, and I sincerely am wondering, is there a particular reason that you would not pay these fees out of that 15 million pot of money? And if so, what is that reason?
We just did it this year. You started doing that this year. This year they had requested, they requested 3 capital expenditures so far this year. I know the last 2 were code, and I don't remember, the 162, 120 was for the 3 SRO vehicles that the board had previously approved. It took almost a year to get those vehicles. So they have requested from code, or from the sales tax, about 86.8, and then $221,085 was the last request in April, and now this request today. About $259,000.
I would like to table this until our meeting on Monday, if everybody's good with that.
Got a motion to table, second? Second with that. Maybe it's a request if you could, just to follow up with them and ask them that question.
How much is that out of 15 million?
Yeah.
Our
Thanks,
meeting is
Beth.
Monday, right?
Yeah.
So you got it on Monday.
And just, that one, to me, it supports that project, so I don't, just see if you can get that answer for us. Item number 7B is the budget amendment.
This is gonna be your budget amendment number 7 for this year. We're recognizing about $346,000 in new funding, and so in doing that, it's kind of going all over the place. We're getting some extra here and there, but then we're having to allocate it and spend it. Trying to see if anything really stands out. Did anybody see anything that stood out that you have any questions about? I'll be glad to answer. Trying to get it as trued up as possible. We'll do one last one on June 21st, just to close out any loose ends, but this is pretty much getting us there to the end. We shouldn't have too much left to do. This brings our total budget for the year up to about $22,446,000.
Have a motion. So moved. Approved.
Second.
All in favor, vote for the usual sign.
And they,
Yeah, this is something that I've been working on with Lynn Austin. So at the landfill, we share that project, and Lynn expressed that there were some issues with the burn, that there was a break in the burn, and that it's gonna cost money to repair that break. So there is 97 acres of timber at the landfill, and number one, we'll need you all to declare that surplus timber. I think that's an accounting thing that is need to be done. And then number two is just maybe move that we go forward with Yancey County contracting out the sale of the timber. So those are two housekeeping items more so that needs to be done, just in regards to getting that landfill up to par environmentally with that break in the berm, and that won't cost any taxpayer money. Via the timber sale will cover that break. So that's, like I said, Lynn over at Yancey's very conscientious on bidding out her timber, doing all the process in that. She's answering to her board, and she has shown me that she is very cost conscious. So I guess the first thing I just want to do is just maybe y'all just make a point to know that we'd like this declared.
need a motion. to
Yeah,
declare that
yeah,
it's
declare it
timber.
surplus timber.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Can you, before we vote on that, can you clarify with me, Alan, again, so the berm that's over there, you want to take the timber off of it to pay the
So, I'm sorry, I know that I probably was butchering my explanation because I haven't walked out there on the property. So what I understand is that the old site of the landfill has like a bladder that goes around where all that trash has been disposed of over the years. But the site is on a big acreage, so surrounding that is some forest land, and I think the river on the low side. And so there is a bust in that bladder that will cost some money to fix. I didn't get an amount.
Seems like
Something, yeah.
more like
I
a
think you're right.
Gotcha.
So there's a concern about the leaching of that landfill matter into the, outside environment. And so the timber is surrounding that old landfill site because it was off of a bigger tract. And I think that's what we're trying to get at, to get that timber harvested. That project without it costing us out of our budgets. I would say so. I can talk with Lynn on that, but I would bet it would be 50-50. That's kind of how we've been working that. Is that correct, Mavis? Select cut, 16 inch at breast height. So it's gonna be a select cut and getting the more mature stuff out of it.
To declare it, timber surplus.
Got a second, all in favor, vote for the same. Motion carries.
We need a motion to,
Allow Yancey County to move forward with contracting the sale of the timber. So they're taking care of that, so.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, vote for the same. We make sure they put one of our timber folks in that bid process.
They have been looking at all the local ones. So, yeah, anybody out there, I think they're bidding as we speak. So if you got one, tell them to contact Lynn about the bid. So anybody who got one that you think would be a good one, but yeah, I think a lot of them are locals.
Okay, we're good. Item number D, Ms. Beth Edwards from the Mitchell County Schools. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you taking your time.
Threw that on, we threw it on. I had Mavis and Alan on. Mavis is my phone. On her all the time. but
She's a lot of people's.
I don't know what I'm doing. And when Danny's on the golf course, he tends to do that a lot now. I call Mavis. She has been so gracious to help me. We just wanted to talk about the funding for the school system. Our board meeting tonight too. With apologies for not being able to be. We want to be here as well for this, but we just wanted to kind of run over some facts about why we were asking what we were asking for. You can see the very first bullets there, we've really not had an increase since 2015. Total from 2015 now, 54,635. What we've really gotten over the. That's why we're asking. Don't have it. Everything's went up, and our problem came from 13 and the 15. All their non-certified have to go $13 an hour this year, $15 an hour next year. And your problem with that is we have all three funds. We have people who pay. There are actually that are paid from all three funds. I've got them split 28% and trying to get them all in there.
Could I ask you a question on that note,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes, sir.
When you have somebody retire that's paid out of local money, do you refill that position most of the time? Or is that position vacated?
Direct budget, the first area that we do is the state and federal area. And always, so the first thing that Danny told me, always pick the lowest. So right now, people that we do have in local are actually some of our newer people, they are our lowest paid, or were. Our lowest paid people. Now the board's kind of evened out here because we're creating such an inequity. They are still our lowest.
Okay, now, if I remember correctly, your school staff or your teachers, your principals, administration should be paid for by the state. Is that correct? So-
Mostly, I mean, they do the, it's kind of. The local, and I put that in there too, the local covers where all the shortfalls come from,
Mhm.
and there's shortfalls in every instruction. Teachers and child nutrition is our biggest thing, of course.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember. That's why I asked you if, when somebody retired, had you left those positions open and not filled to save money?
Right.
Or have those positions been filled? Because I remember, this has been years ago, local dollars paid for custodial, secretaries, cafeteria workers. And
Well, cafeteria is not now, it's on federal.
there is-
Mavis knows that's all pulled out of local, that's really federal. Of course, we're gonna end up having to come back to local because federal shortfall
Mhm.
on us on that, so.
So, Beth, I have a quick question. So you said that the total funding increase was gonna be 54,600.
That's all
35.
combined. That's all
Okay.
you.
So does that also, on this paper you give us, does that reflect the fact that we give 15,000 for the RISE grant, the Article 44 and the one-to-one technology, in addition to the fines and forfeitures and the penalty that the tax office
That includes
collects?
everything but the one-to-one. The one-to-one's not on it, I did not add that in. That was not on it. I did not add that in. Article 44 and.
Does that also factor in the STEM that we fund?
That does. That's our- Well, sometimes right, so like we should have turned it to them, that. Some years we've had enough, but some years we've not had enough, like, you know, some years. Yeah. It looks like Article 44, that's how we covered it, you know, but it's not. Some years.
Sorry.
Oh, no, no, no. I still want that to take. As I was telling Mr. Harding, that is the first thing we do. Always state federal budget, get everything that we can. That doesn't feel we feel.
Are you
Right.
using local money to pay certified teachers? Or
There's
only
no-
teachers assistants?
There's no certified teachers, in my
Okay.
local right now. There's not. We have enough. We're covering.
Because all that comes from the state.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We do have some non-certified that I've got in there that don't have their license yet. That we're having, that will not pay for them.
Okay.
But as soon as they get the license, we put them out. And there's no, to our knowledge, there's no school district entity that operates out of local funds, regardless of their area of tax. I know that's, Alan and I were talking, I mean, we just now. We don't have Mount Airy, we don't have. Comes Ridge, we don't have all that. Like, I talked about several times, we don't have. Another close county yet, which stinks for us, but the state still holds us to the same thing. I just wrote down the local per pupil funding. And you can see Avery, Nancy, and Madison. How much they per student, per local funding per pupil. Right now, Avery's at 24.75, 79 per student, which is about $1 more per student. Compared to 716. 14.25. Davis and I talked about this. This is an old, I think it's 2018. So we do know that it has increased, but then that's not the one.
You know, Beth, do you know that if Yancey, Avery, Madison, do they fund all the additional stuff that Mitchell County funds, like your one-to-one technology, STEM teachers, all the other stuff that we just spoke about?
I'm not gonna figure out on that. I don't.
You don't know?
that for a
I
fact.
was
No,
just curious.
I do not. I can find out.
That's okay. I was just curious if you know.
I can ask. I don't know that. There's a lot of talk about why are we having to do this, and it was mandated by the state. So this, of course, I can go to the $13.15, which pushes us, since we fund all three, local, federal, and state, we have to keep it across the board. Get a little explanation there, and that employees that are paid from all state funds, state, federal, and local employees should not be penalized due to the fund they are paid. Now, for example, if one teacher is successful in local funds and one next classroom being paid from state, we cannot penalize the one who pays from she will pay. All the way across the board. As voted, our board did vote to hold off on child nutrition. Like everyone else is, everybody around us is. And all the finance officers that I talked to, just putting a plan on everything.
What's the total amount of funding to get the $15 an hour?
I think if you have Mr. Calhoun's letter, it shows on there, it's broken down in there, with the $15 an hour. $184,115. And then. For
all of it. Our insurance, I put that on there as well. Insurance increase, retirement increase, we went, insurance went from 22.89. And you put all that, I mean, it's increasing. As we all know.
So total between those two, you said 184, 115, and then 130. So, oh yeah.
Does that
sorry.
help?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I had that, I left it at the house.
I'm sorry, I was telling you the child retreat, and that's the one that we decided. Hopefully, federal will come along at some point. Federal comes out. So Beth, sorry, I just have lots of questions. Well, you'll know.
No, that's fine, that's.
So with all the COVID money the school received for, and I'm assuming that they did because they gave out free lunches to children during COVID, right? Were
That
you,
was a whole different. It really wasn't COVID, that wasn't.
oh, okay.
It was like,
Were you,
and Heather could tell you better on that. Really helped.
I was gonna say, was you able to increase your fund balance because you were saving money on lunches and
I
stuff?
think that's just Heather, that's child nutrition. The child nutrition portion of that.
Okay.
But that's just not child nutrition. And child nutrition, but
So that's not
raising
under,
trouble anyway.
so it's not, is that not a line item in the school budget?
It is. It is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
However, another fund that way. Fall short,
Mhm.
you make them supplement in there.
Okay.
Kind of like a fund within a fund, kind of like their, fund money for Stephanie, the
Okay.
911 money for different sources.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
It's
clarification.
supposed to be self-supporting, you want it. Now, if she has extra money, child nutrition fund, she got this other, she could have a balance, but you know, that
For
fund
food and
can't be
nutrition.
moved.
Okay.
And unfortunately, where they, it, what we had made, that's why she's my phone. Right there. And it has not helped her. And then going to 15 was the, of course, the price of food and the supply chain was the connection. There's just so many factors in everything.
What do we, it's just the same as last year. How much was it?
There you go. Does that help? If-
No, she's like, she's
He's
got-
on
she's
it.
on it. She's on it. Thank you.
No, I just, that was the, we had
I
gone,
should have that. We on that, might be able to make some stuff.
Alan, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
I'm looking at your pie chart here.
Yep.
Expenses. And I'm going to education. And I'm sure that the education piece of this includes funding money,
Yeah.
because we're
Christie-
showing
Christie confirms that.
21, 22, 2,327,257 to Mitchell County Schools. But in education, on this pie chart, it's showing that we're giving 3,962,066. Out of that 3,962,000, how much of that would go to Maitland? So we're really giving Mitchell County Schools, you correct me if I'm wrong, on this pie chart, 3,662,000. Well, I'm just trying to clarify, Mavis, because I've got two conflicting numbers here, one on the pie chart, one on this sheet here. So I want to know how we got from 3 million down to 2 million, almost $4 million.
Right here. So
Okay, under education,
Mhm,
okay, you've got, there's their operating money.
mhm.
Forest timber receipts projected, this is their sales tax that we're gonna give them, Article 44 for 2 STEM teachers. Then you've got all of their capital outlay, which is including their 2 sales taxes, also including your one-to-one technology. Also, back here in debt services, you've got their CUSAP, the 142,858, plus you've got Malin Community College right here. Okay, so if you add all that up, that's where you're gonna get your education.
Almost $4 million.
Yeah. So it's a combination.
Okay, I was just a little bit confused.
She knows her stuff.
That-
So Beth, I have another question. Are SROs paid out of local money or is that a state pot? That's state pot?
They're another one that's split. I don't agree with that. I have enough.
And we do have one SRO currently with a grant. Is that correct? It is my understanding that the one in the Spruceland area is with a grant. I was just curious when that grant ran out. Okay.
I will look on that and let you know for sure.
Okay.
I think now, I've got them all coming out of the, or out of the federal and state. I'm not- It's a safety grant.
I can't remember when they got it. I just know at some point in time there
I
was.
know we got $8,000 here not too long ago for radios. That was only, that grant was only for radio. Take that so much of your own.
And we'll try to let you finish.
No, it's fine.
You're doing a good job. Just
No, I'm
just
sorry.
keep
I
it rolling
didn't-
out. You got a bullseye on you right
Well,
there.
and you just got to bear with me because I am.
You're
brand
new to
and
all
I
of
am not
this.
Danny Young, so I want to identify as Danny Young, but. I had to-
We like that.
Coming out of prison after 15 years, guys, you got to give me a little bit of a break.
I didn't know you were free.
I was in prison for. And I went filing for 3 years, for 3 months.
Oh, you weren't incarcerated.
I love saying that.
I'm
That's
just
what I
having
get from
fun with you
everybody.
right now. You know
Usually
that,
what I
don't
get
you?
from everybody, though. You should look at, you should see some of them. Finance officers, and I tell them that, they're like. "In your hands
I'm
when
just
the
picking
school's
on you right
money."
now.
Anyway, so the local budget is. Got any questions? I'll be glad to. We do have a couple positions that we can hire for federal money. Now, I do have 9.5 positions right now in the. That comes out in 2024, those positions.
And what are those positions?
Mostly teachers, those are all, the
Teachers.
9.5 are teachers, I've got those, some of the higher paid.
Do you guys anticipate when the new school is open that you will have a cost savings from
Yes, sir.
custodial and cafeteria to maintenance and teachers?
Yep, that's the plan, the school will really help us with that all. And like I said, the mandatory state minimum wage, part-time, temporary, permanent, seasonal, actual, we do not have an employee that is not making less than $13 an hour. That's right. Everybody has to be paid $13 an hour, and I thought, when I tell you about this, I thought, kind of funny, when we were, Sandy and I, she's the payroll manager there, we were going through all the salary stuff that we sent on, from the state, it says for an unlicensed sub, we have to pay them $81 a day, well, subs are paid for 7 hours. That's $11.57 an hour. That's not 13. Then they put this little note down here below it.
says, the minimum salary for a substitute paid with state funds shall also meet the required $13 per hour per the state legislature 2023. It is the responsibility of each teacher to verify that they are in compliance with this legislation. So, even though it says at 11:57, what we could pay a non-certified sub, we can't, because we're not compliant, we're not in compliance, so that's what we're doing. But anyway, it's created huge inequity, as you guys know.
I've got one more question. I'll let you finish.
No, that's fine.
I know because of teacher shortage, we're able to fill some positions that we've had retired teachers come back and teach. Are they picked up by state or are they picked up by state?
I chose them as a long-term sub.
Okay.
State pays. The request is coming because of the inequity that we've created. We've got all these employees that we've had for all these years that are now on the same pay scale as the brand new. So in order to get them up to where they're making more than the brand new employees, that's hard. There's a lot. There's a lot on there that it's not fair and it's not right, but we're forced into it. We have to do this. As I told you, the board voted to hold the Charlie Creek employees at 13, because we do not have the funding. I'm hoping maybe something will come through. If not, then we'll look at it again later on. With other counties around us are coming on. So we've got Charlie Creek employees that we pay do this, they can go to your able to make dollars for them on a monthly basis. So. Non-certified pay scales were at 60%. Of what that state would be. All the other counties around us are at 100%, have been at 100% due to funding. Now it's lower, it was a lot lower, so that's put up to. And I thought about 9.5 positions. So 2024, that's hopefully we're gonna school. That's our plan. But that.
Thank you.
Complete our case here.
Man,
So,
thank-
and if you got any questions, Alan, I can both have my contact information. Feel free to email me, I'll give you the answers. Screen is this, but I'll be glad to contact you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
Appreciate that. Was that the first drawing, the second drawing, and the third?
I don't know about that now. It just says design, new school grade 3 through 8 design.
And what year was that?
That was April.
We paid that or it come out of 15 million? Thank you.
I have to. Her board has to declare.
Yeah.
Over to, that I have access to, at that time I have to write a check.
and all that. Thank you, Beth, for bringing everything to. You're good. We appreciate it. The next item on the agenda for tonight, so is accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
A lot of movement there. Second. All in favor, vote aye. Motion carries. My understanding is, I think we did closed session tonight.
Taylor.
We do have a need for a closed session per North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11. Number 6, to consider the qualifications, competencies, performance, character, fitness, conditions, or initial employment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer, employee, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against an individual public officer or employee. For the closed session this evening,